Alright, the next thing I want to show you is how to use the path tool. There's a lot of cool things you can do with the path tool. If you right click, you can just add a plain path to have characters follow as part of your program. You can add a wall if you need to divide your world up or to keep characters from going certain places. A road, which is really useful if you're going to do any sort of racing game, because that'll really smooth out the surface and characters will be able to race on it a lot better. And then even just flora. They've got little things like flowers or little mushrooms or objects that you can just kind of put in the world, and it'll just kind of spread them out a little bit quicker. So for this one, I'm going to work on adding a road, and I click on that, and you can see where it's going to start. And then every time I click, it's just going to continue kind of making a path for my characters to follow. In this case, I want this to be kind of a racing game, so I'm going to have them kind of work their way out here, making some curves. Maybe a little U-turn in here. Holding down spacebar lets me use the hand tool to kind of move around. Then as soon as I let go, I can continue drawing my path. And I'm going to try to bring it right up to about there. Then to stop, you can just right click and it'll stop adding nodes. Each one of the little circles is called a node. And then you can do some cool stuff with changing the way it looks. So if you right click on one node, you can change one at a time, or up here on the top it says shift will act on the full path. So if I hold down the shift button, you can see all of the nodes light up, and I can change the type. There's different types of roads. So I'll go ahead and stick with this one here. Now, for each individual node, you can actually right click on it and you could change the height to raise or lower it. So over here, I'm going to try to actually make my road kind of go up to this platform. So if I do that, that should, when we get to that spot, yeah, actually raise it up. And it didn't show it right away. I had to go actually into the play mode, but you can see now my road actually kind of goes up into the air. So let's go ahead and just test this out and see if this is something we can actually drive on. Right now we've got what's called glass walls turned on. So you can see I'm bumping into the walls, but this would be an example of kind of not a very smooth gameplay, where it's kind of very difficult to drive because of those glass walls. So you could turn them off and then your character would actually fall off the wall. So that is under world settings. It's the second option, but without them on I would actually fall off. So I'm going to try to turn them off, but then I'm going to try to also select a different road here. So I had to go back to the path tool and then hold down shift, and let's see if we can find that wider one. Alright, so since this is more of a wall, when I try to put the mouse on top of the node, it's not actually registering it because the node is, it's still thinking the node is down here. So just keep going, change type, see more of a fence, another wall, that's just a blank one, and then we should get back to, this is a road that I like, but for this one, I think this wider road is going to be a little bit better. Alright, so I was having a lot of problems getting this path to actually stay the type that I wanted it to be. So what I ended up doing was just getting back to the one that I wanted, which was this wider road, and then I just selected one of the nodes, add more nodes, and I just kind of put a little section out here. Maybe I could put a little star or a coin or something out there for the character to get, and then that seemed to actually save it. But now we can get up onto this road and actually race on it, and we could have other characters on here, we could have obstacles, we could have other things that you'd have to watch out for, and we should see it should kind of have a little ramp up to, let's see if I can jump it here, should have a little ramp up at the end. There's a little section I had to put in, and yeah, here we go, we're going to go up to this other height. But you can definitely see how a path can add a lot of cool things.